last week, what we was looking at, see what happened. Do a quick little breakdown and then see what we could potentially take. Y'all know how I've been feeling about these all-time highs from the dollar. What we were looking at, let me see if I can go up. I'm gonna just go up on a higher time frame just so you can see the bigger picture, what we were looking at here. The dollar haven't been up here since like 2017, then once again 2020. So these are kind of like all-time highs for a while, that the dollar's been up here. So we've been anticipating the dollar to at least get to this red line that we drew up last week as that level of resistance. We were looking for some breakdown up in here in this area, potentially looking for the dollar to at least pull back to its overall trend. You can see this is the trend. This is where the original move began. And we've been pretty bullish. And we were just looking for a little bit of pullback, right? We do know we have some fundamental news coming out with inflation and stuff, with them getting ready to yike up the dollar interest rates to make it even stronger. So in order for those things to take place, we're, just anticipating a little bit of pullback before it continues up. But in the interim, we have completely filled this area of interest here. And we're just sitting right there, just barely breaking that out, just looking at it from a weekly standpoint. All right, so what we're going to do, what I would do right now, is just follow the trend until it starts showing us significant turnarounds or significant or reversals and things in the market, right? So y'all can hear me clearly with that, because I think I cut out a little bit. Just make sure y'all heard everything. 777 in the chat, y'all can hear me just fine. Y'all heard that? Y'all follow me? Cool, we didn't cut out? All right, sweet. All right, my phone be tripping sometimes over here. All right, y'all. Okay, so overall, we filled that little situation. So I'm gonna drop back down. I think most of us on here, we have a trading style of intraday scalps. So intraday traders and some scalpers in here. So overall, our highest time frame, take a look at 4 hours. That's what we're looking at. Let's see. Let me see if y'all can mute yourselves so it won't be too noisy on the playback. We'll open it up for questions or comments afterwards. If you can mute yourself right now, that'd be great. All right. Let's see. All right. So again, we were looking for some resistance to take place up here, looking for a nice little pullback last week. And we actually end up just consolidating and ranging out. If you can see here, we just was bouncing off of that resistance level. That's like a higher time frame resistance level. We got a lot of consolidation, which usually happens on the higher, on those higher action zone areas. We normally get some significant resistance here or consolidation. So that's what we pretty much got for the most part. Though how I was using the DXY was looking for some long opportunities, because being at the DXY is at the high, a lot of the pairs that we do trade are at all-time lows, have either did a 70% correction or 100% correction. And so for that reason, at that floor, we've been looking for long opportunities. So there was a couple long opportunities throughout the week that you guys could have capitalized off of, but overall, we're still very much in a bearish market on the pairs that we do trade, just as well as the dollar is still very much in the bullish market. So that's why we're trading that way. So what we were looking for is for price to completely break. In order for me to, feel really comfortable with this one, I was looking for it to completely break this all-time level, in which it finally did that Thursday. So we finally got a little breakout here, and we have price coming back trying to correct itself a little bit here. So we're going to see what this setup is going to be for this week. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove some of these things from last week. I just wanted to review that with y'all so we can see what happened. Overall, we were looking for price to pull down. We did get a little bit of pull down here. We got price pulled down a few times. So you had a few long opportunities. I know a couple of y'all took advantage of those long opportunities for the daily volume side of things. But still, if you took some sales last week, you were good. I just personally don't like selling at lows like that. If you're going to sell at a low, just, short situations, very short situations for me. just on the safer side. So I'm gonna take some of this stuff off. Let's see here what we got going on this week with this dollar. So again, the trend is your friend. So we always want to follow the trend first with your plan A. You know, always make your plan A, plan B. With it being the top of the week, don't get too stuck on one direction or the other.
Okay. Who doesn't ask us?
Oh, y'all can unmute yourself. Let me see. I can't see who's up. Uh-oh. All right, y'all. Okay. So let me see here. We're gonna follow the trend. Again, the trend for the dollar is overall moving up. All right, so if the dollar is going to continue to move up, the pairs that we usually trade, like EU, GU, AU, NU, they usually trade the opposite of what the dollar is doing. So if this thing is going to continue moving up, then we're going to continue to sell on that side of things. But in the interim, let's see what we can set up for. We might can get some of this. You know, if it sets up somewhere, come down here and just retest this last level of structure that it just broke. If price starts to break down, if it starts to break down and give rejection here, all right, then we might be looking to run for higher highs, right? So in the sense, once this happens, if price gets down here around, let's say Monday, Tuesday, and we start getting a little breakdown, you might be looking real nice to catch some decent sell-offs in the market for the pairs that we trade. So let's go take a look. So this would be, let me identify this clearly. Let's see, from a call out. This would be plan A is to follow the trend. All right. Plan A, plan B, trade what you see in real time. Plan A, we're just going to follow the trend. This would be following the trend. This would be higher highs, higher lows, and then we'll see it follow it up and break down if this area just broke and run for higher highs, right? If this does take place, then we know that we can take some shorts in the market and be pretty Gucci. At least trading back up to here, which would be some equal highs, right? Or at least making higher highs. So even if you do catch it and price is running up this way towards later on in the week, all right, you want to check and see how price holds this level here, these highs, these previous highs. See how price responds here. If it breaks and hold, okay, it's going to continue to go up and make that extra higher high, right? But if price travels back up here and starts to break down, we could be potentially looking to fall pretty hard from here. All right, especially if it makes some equals up here, we're going to be really looking at it to go ahead and give us that decent discount that we're looking for in the market. All right, 777, if that makes sense on plan A, how to check for that later on. See what we can get developed in the market. Y'all following me? All right, that's plan A. Plan B, working with this good old dollar. Let's see here. Plan B would be to go against the trend. Let's say if we're looking for it to break, the only way I'd be interested in this break is if, let's see here, the first sign of weakness would be for me if the dollar was to trade back down up in here, creating lows here and pull back up to this level of structure, then completely break that trend like that to come back and maybe take these lows. But in order for me to be really, really locked in on a nice buying situation, I would definitely need to see something like this completely break for some lows, break back down off into this zone here and see some action going on up in here. So that would be my plan B. So otherwise, I am just following the trend, y'all. If this thing want to keep being bullish, that's fine. That's fine. We'll just keep selling, looking for nice discounts for the sell-off in the market. Plan B for the correlating pairs. All right, so let's go check out some of the pairs. All right, because I know we did have, the first week of every month, pretty much the first Friday, you usually get the NFP week when all those nice numbers start rolling out. That really kind of helps understand what fundamentals with what we're looking at. So that's why we kind of got that nice little push on Thursday as well, but nothing really too drastic here. So let's pull up EU first. All right, so this was our plan for EU last week. We can go ahead and review it together. this is what we was looking at overall. EU is at the bottom of its channel. It's at a floor. It's been consolidating here for weeks. All right, it's been a couple of weeks. We've been bouncing off of these highs and lows right here in between this floor. And we've been taking long opportunities every time it bounces to the floor. We've been taking longs, capitalizing on that. However, we are still very much in sell territory. All right, so this is why you got a lot of nice selling opportunities as well. All right, so last week we identified this first yellow zone here where my arrow is as our first level of area of interest for price to buy back up to and sell off, right? But we identified this as our main area sell off interest because that was a better discount. It never gave us a better discount, but it did, however, sell off really nicely from our area, from our first area of interest here. And then it came back up kind of generally up in that area again. So we did get some nice sell-offs from here. So we have completely broke these lows, creating a lower low, and hence why we're getting this little pullback here. Again, this did take place on, what was it, Thursday? And we got this lower low, and then price was just buying all the way up on Friday, just coming back up to this last level of structure here that it just broke. So overall, if the dollar wants to keep being bullish, I'm gonna go ahead and let's see here. Wait, let me cover these before I take this stuff off. 1 second. We pull it in. All right, so this was our plan. So our plan A was to sell off from here if it gave it to us. Plan B was to buy from here, from these lows, generally. And let's see, what did we get? Just a little buying up in there, but mostly selling is what happened in here. All right, so we never got our better discount. They gave us a little cheap, little 20% off. So we didn't really get much of a fall here. I'm gonna go ahead and clear this and take a peek at what we got going on this week. All right. So with the dollar, depends on how we set up for the week. Oh, crap. There we go. Just remove these things. Let's see how it's going. All right, so we could, if we're anticipating the dollar to, let's see, pull back a little bit before it shoots back up, then we could expect to see, we could expect for EU to pull up as well before it shoots back down. So it could pull back up into this area that it just broke out of, and price could start breaking down here. If that happens, catch your ride and ride it for a lower low for the week. All right, 777, if that makes sense, very easily put. That would be our plan A. Go ahead and mark that. Okay. Plan A. Cool, y'all following me. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, so yeah, I would definitely look to capitalize somewhere up in this area here where it just broke. If price begins to break down, definitely that, that's what market we're in. We're in the seller's market, so that's, that's in alignment with what's happening out there. But then our plan B, all right, plan B, we would definitely need to see price push up above this and come back and sit, right? And you might be able to catch your ride to ride it back up to that overall sell-off area there. In case it wants to go ahead, that same buy that we was looking for to get that nice sell-off, it could potentially play out this week. Just depends on how we set up. Again, this is Sunday. We know Sunday, go ahead and finish off the moves and stuff from last week and then set up for this week. So allow the markets to set up and show itself to you and capitalize where you see fit. So I'm gonna mark this as my plan A here. The dollar continues to be bullish. And we're gonna mark this as our plan B. Plan B. Boom. All right. So that's what we'll need to see there for sure. I would definitely need to see it show itself, show me some buying momentum up, and then let it correct itself and start rejecting off of this level before I even be interested in buying it back up to this overall sell-off. All right. So let's see, y'all have any questions about this particular setup or pair or what's happening? Anything that you've noticed last week? Any trades that you took maybe on this pair that if it went in your favor, did not go in your favor? Any questions before we move on to the next pair? No? All right, we ready to move on? Moving on. GU. All right. Here is wifey. What'd you do, girl? All right, all right. Here is GU. We had the same similar setup as EU. With the dollar at an all-time high, we were anticipating some pullback a little bit. We did get some nice buy situation here a couple times last week. Could took advantage of from the floors. But overall, we're still in the seller's market, so there were some nice selling opportunities as well. We did have our first level of interest. Sell-off interest was here. Looks like price almost got to our overall sell-off interest, but just to that first little area is pretty much what it went to. The overall was somewhere here. Didn't quite make it, just like EU. But again, we still was able to buy up and take advantage of it going up, and then you could have took advantage of it coming down from that overall sell-off interest. So things pretty much panned out as what we was looking for. You could have capitalized on it a couple times last week. Looked like about 3 times last week could have got in on either one of those situations. But now overall, we finally got a break of structure here where price was last supported. And then I'm just going to extend this out from last week and remove some of these markings from last week. So let me go ahead and remove this so we can clearly see. All right. So boom, we're here at our low. All right. I'm gonna extend this out, this floor where price was supported at. All right, because this is what broke, right? We broke and now we're back here at this level. So what we could see, the same thing for plan A. Here is we can see a little further push up, and then price starts to break down here about Monday, Tuesday, and you might be able to catch your entry for your sell-off to run for lower lows, okay? Being that it is overall seller's territory, the dollar is still very bullish. But depending, I'm just gonna mark this as plan A because we're just following the trend for our plan A. But our plan B, we will be prepared. I mean, I put plan B, but our plan B will be prepared for whatever the market wants to give us. We just want to flow with it, not predict it. Okay. All right, so boom, that's that on that. Our plan B would be to buy it up. In order to buy this up, I would want to see price go ahead and push up and stay on top of this level, right? Price starts to break down here. You can catch your ride and ride it up to that overall sell-off area of interest that we identified last week again and see how price is handling this area. All right. Overall, so I am going to mark this as plan B. Okay, so that is how we can position ourselves according to whatever the dollar decides to give, whatever the market is giving. We're at least prepared for both sides on how we want to see it, how we want to position and prepare to trade for. So that's what you always want to do is just give yourself options, right? You don't have to be married to either option. Just make sure that you are aware of what could transpire out there. That way that keeps you more present in the moment. I know a lot of traders end up taking a lot of L's because they are married to one way of being, right? So you want to keep yourself fluid and just be present in the moment. You know, you don't want to get stuck often. Oh, well, I'm thinking it's going to sell and it's buying up and you're just, now you're 100 pips in drawdown and you was only going for 30 in the beginning. So that trade is always, it's already done and over with, but you're still sitting there being pulled and pulled and pulled back because you're so convinced that, oh, it's going to sell, you know? So just be present in the moment and trade what you see. So we got our plans together for this. and we're ready to take advantage on either or. We know what we want to see. We're not moving unless we have our confirmations on either side to get into the trade. All right, so do anybody have any questions about GU? I know I've seen a couple of people that were eyeing it up last week. I know I took advantage of this buying opportunity here and here last week from the floor. So if anybody's on and got questions about last week's opportunities or not. Okay. Let's see here. Is everybody good? Let me see. Hold on. We got a little noise coming through. I'll mute you guys. All right. I want to make sure y'all can hear me clearly. No questions on GU. Everybody's good on what we're seeing, what we're looking at. Simply put, very simply put. 777 if you're following me. Easy peasy. We on track. All right, Ash, you following me? Alvaro, you got me. You got me. Okay. Okay, T, Aaliyah, y'all following? All right, we'll go to the next pair. All right, Jennifer, appreciate it. All right. Very simply put, so what else do we look at? EU, GU. Let's see if you guys want into AU. I know AU is another pair to trade during New York and Asian session. It's a lot slower than EU and GU, but they all pretty much roll the same. AU is not going to give you nowhere near as many pips as GU would. EU is like that nice middle ground for beginners. You know, if you want a little volatility, but not too much, right? EU is that nice smoother ride. But if you want to take a slower boat to China, definitely check out AU and get comfortable with that pair. If you want a little faster, then GU would be your girl. But they pretty much move the same. If we go look at it, probably identified the same way. Same thing here. You had overall, you can see overall, this is a bearish market. All right, you can see overall, this is a bearish market. It's been selling for quite some time, right? We're making lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs, lower lows. Now we're at a lower high, right? And we have, boom, this is where price found support. Then it finally broke. Like I said, they all did the same thing last Thursday. They usually move together. And one usually moves before the other. So they usually kind of tell on each other. If you just want to have all of them on there to just see what's what, they usually tell on each other as a gem. However, this one has already made its way back on top of the last structure that it broke. So we'll see how this sets up and hold. And anticipating rolling with the punches, anticipating that the dollar is going to continue to be bullish, then we might get a little setup. We might get a little setup here. It might come back up here and test these highs a little bit, and then price might start to break down from here. You'll be able to catch your sell and run for a lower low there. All right, that would be my plan A. Looking for the same thing on all these lovely ladies. Move the same. All right, one's just faster than the other. All right, however, plan B would be if we get some, we find support here, right? And price starts to break down, then you might be able to catch that and run it up for a higher high from this area here. That's anticipating no new lows are broken and prices starting to break down in this general area, then you might be able to take that, and including that the dollar is actually falling. All right, so we would definitely need to see how the week set up. Again, if the week sets up with the dollar making a double top, all right, then we can probably anticipate that long, but we have to wait and let it show itself, right? We don't want to try and predict the markets. We just want to be fluid and flow with it. Plan A, plan B, trade what you see, y'all. I cannot stress that enough. All right, who cares? We do not care. We are pulling up to make our monies. Don't do whatever you're going to do. Just show us, right? Just show us so we can keep it moving. All right, we're prepared either way. Any questions about this? It's pretty similar to the last couple setups and markups that we were looking at. Same thing, it's a little cleaner. Again, this pair does move a lot smaller, a lot slower, not as many pips, but it might be easier on the eyes to really see what's happening. All right, and if you choose this pair as your baby, it's bestly trade during New York session and Asian session. Alrighty, let's see. We take a look at, let's see. I'll let you guys go ahead and place in the chat for me any other pairs you would like me to look at this time, other than the 3 that we've covered already. Anything anybody's working on, you want some extra eyes on, questions about, put it in the chat for me. Oh, y'all trying to get gangster. No, y'all didn't. Let's get gangster. Okay, they say let's go look at them big boys. You playing? All right, bet. All right, US 30. No, this is Nas 100. All right, so let's see. Which is the best in London session? Anything GBP is going to be the best way to go during London session. That's Great British Pound. That is a London session pair. So anything with a GBP and it works well, or with the euro. The euro, dollar, and GBP moves pretty nice during London session. Let's see, US 32. Boy, I tell y'all trying to get gangster. All right, let's see. Yeah, you see they playing with the big boys, Leah? They trying to get to the bag, sis. All right, so here we have Nas 100 overall. These markets, y'all know how I feel about these markets. These markets are always bullish. You can go up in a higher time frame and see that these markets are always freaking bullish. So anywhere you can get in and go long at will be your best bet. But as it stands right now, we're on a little bit of a pullback. This is one of the biggest of all time. Look at this crap. Since the beginning of time, we've never had this much here. So looking at where it's pulled back to, if we just take account of this last little, man, it's gonna get real saucy. This last little pull here, we're at about 50% and also back at this major level. So I'm just gonna remove these drawings so we can see. All right. And we're also back at this major level here. And it's about 50% of that last little move. And we're getting rejection from here. So, you know, there might be some good opportunities for you to actually go long for a while and let that joint roll. All right. So let's see where we're at. See where we are. All right. All right. So same thing here. We had found support and we broke it. Now we've broken back up above it. So let's see how we set up. Plan A would be to follow the trend. If you were going to sell this, here, let's put a trend on here so you can see it. Just put a little trend. All right, so if you were going to sell it, you know, we'll see how it handles this area. Uh-oh, that's not what I wanted. That ain't the tool I wanted. We'll see how we handle this area here. All right, because we could start getting some rejection here. So we'll see how price sets up. We could travel back up in this area and then price will start to break down and you might be able to sell it off again. But that would be going with the overall trend. That's plan A. Me, of course, little old me. I like the buying situation on this overall market. So I'll wait or buy just because that's a better, longer position to hold. What is this? This is plan A. Get the text out of there. Plan A. All right. So I would, if anything, if it came up here and started rejecting again or whatnot, I might sell it back down to this floor. Just sell it back down to the equal here. Because it could try to do some mess like this. All right, could try and do some mess like that for the long term of things. Overall picture, just because it's at a good discount. It's at a good discount, right? If we're going shopping, right, it's at a good price discount. But either way, that would be something like a plan A, just to follow along with what's happening here. However, the plan B, I would be looking for price to pull back in this general area. Somewhere up in here, maybe scare a couple people who got in mad early, back down off in this at the bottom of this zone. Then price could start to break down, catch an entry, and ride it up to a higher high. ride it up to a higher high, or at least back up to these equals here. If it dips down here and starts breaking down, ride it back up to these equals. That's how I would do that. All right. Very easy, easy money, easy kill. Patience, patient pays, y'all. Patience pay. Don't jump in nothing mad early. Wait until you have all your confirmations before getting any markets, especially if you're gonna be playing with these boys. You're gonna need a couple $1,000s in your account at the minimum to even throw a micro lot size to be able to really play on the lower risk. So make sure you got all your ducks in a row before you come over here tiptoeing. All right, don't want to get y'all blown out the water. Oh, let's see. Yeah, that's how I would do that. Definitely. How I do that right now. Yeah. Go ahead, let it finish out. Do what it's gonna do. Shit. And we'll see. We'll definitely see how it sets up on tomorrow calls for the market markups on Monday. But as it stands right now, we're just gonna let today do what it do, show itself, go ahead and finish off the residue of last week and prepare to set up itself for the week so we can really have clear eyes on going in. But we're prepared either way. We know what we want to see either way. All right, y'all see that? Makes sense? Questions about it? Questions about it? Again, if I am wanting to buy this market, I am definitely going to wait until I have a low situation to buy this market. Right now, I'm buying up here. You never want to buy at a high. That's the whole concept of trading, is selling at a high and buying low. So if you want to buy it, you're going to wait until you have yourself a low and be able to have your confirmations kick in and be able to take that buy up from that low. So the dollar has the opposite effect on US 30. Well, because it depends on the dollar. So the DXY, whatever your your base pair is, if the base pair is US if the base pair is for currencies, if the base pair is USD, it will mimic it directly. If it's a quoted pair, it's going to do the opposite. I've noticed when the dollar goes down, there's more of a discount, more buying in US 30. What? More buying, discount of 30. Okay, so that's not like, it's not a currency against it. Those are like major markets, like the stocks and stuff like that. So it does make a difference. Like when the dollar is crashing, then people will move their money over into more stable assets, just like with gold, right? So when the dollar is crashing against gold is rising. So you'll have more buying discounts on that when the dollar is crashing. All right, well, speaking of gold, let's look at gold. Let's go look at gold. All right, same here. What is this? Looking for gold about there, but it's so okay because the dollar is so strong right now, so that's why you're getting this dip in gold. Then again, gold, and then the dollar is the quote, so you're going to get the opposite effect here since it's at the back. That's typically how it usually works. Let's see. How far are we down on that move? Oh, we down there. Oh, yeah. Come on, dollar. Go on ahead and bust it back for a real one. Everything is like at nice buy-up spots. We just need that dollar to go ahead and start crashing for us. Just come on back home because it's way away from the trend line. Let's come on back home. Let us get our good little buys in with the right lot size to have people set for a couple months. Maybe a nice year or so, depending on how heavy you coming. That'd be a nice little situation. Nice little situation. All right, so gold, same thing.
So what did you say you needed from Walmart? Because you didn't make any sense to me.
Ooh.
Say go to Walmart and get your line.
Who going to Walmart? Walmart. Who mic is unmuted? We're gonna mute that because let me go, baby. I'm gonna mute you. Baby, we don't know what y'all getting at Walmart, but all right, y'all. So with Go, let's see. I need some stuff from Wally World. I'm saying I just went to Wally World. Hello, I'm finally here. I was wondering if you can clear up the different trading times from me, Asian market. I want to learn. Oh, okay. The Asian market is like the lowest. To me, when it comes down to the market time frames, the Asian market is the most slowest market to trade. There's opportunities to make money in the market at any given time. It's just the probability of it all. With Asian, it's lesser moves for me that I like to capture. The type of moves that I'm looking for in the market, there's lesser opportunities during Asian. It's a little slower. And for the most part, Asian is kind of like that cleanup setup situation between London and New York. Those are usually your heaviest volatile markets to trade, with plenty of opportunities within those. So coming off of a London session where the money is moving the most, going into the New York session where it's getting the last little hoorah, then rolling into that Asian session, price is tied, baby. We's tied. We gotta go get some Gatorade, put a couple Band-Aids on our legs and stuff. We done ran and then fell and then ran some more, honey. We got to rest. That's kind of how I'm looking at Asian. So price kind of goes into more of a consolidating period where price is just regathering itself before it takes off running again. So hopefully that answers your question, Latoya, and thanks for jumping on, boo. I'm excited for you. Yes. Yes. All right. Let's see. Okay. So what did I have going on here on Go? Last time looked like I was here looking for price to push back and run up. It did that. Then we had a little pullback here. It didn't break down. It went ahead and pushed. All right. All right. So we're going to remove this. Be excited to be here. Awesomeness. Awesomeness. Hopefully that answered your question though, lovely. Yeah, all questions are great, y'all. You never know who else is on here that might have that same question. There's no such thing as a silly question. That's why we have these open Q&A for y'all, to be able to really grasp the concept of what you're doing. You can see me marking up all day long. You can understand what I'm saying. But when you go to mimic it, if you're having issues, it's probably the best opportunity to say, hey, I did this and this didn't happen for me. Can you explain what I did and why? All right. Give us something to actually go over and cover in more detail. That's no problem. All right. So here we got gold. We got our little trend line working here. Hold on, let me pull it. We got the dollar still bullish, so we're pulling back on gold. But overall, we're at a level where gold found support at before. On the higher time frame, if it will let me put the dang on thing. There we go. All right, so we're at a level where gold found support at before, so we traded back down off in that. Now we found support again. So ideally, all right, we can look for gold to continue to do something like that, but it's still overall still sitting in sell territory, right? So if you wanted to sell off on it, the ideal sell-off area would be where price was last supported. So somewhere up in here would be your ideal sell-off if that's was something that you were interested in. All right. And yeah, it does have quite a bit of ways down there to actually, it could actually run to, Target, give me my dang on tools. They do have quite a bit of ways there. Not saying it's going to absolutely do that, but there's some areas up in there that we could touch again that we weren't too far away from. But overall, I would definitely like to see this market break up from here. So I would love to see gold break out, continue to do this for the overall, like come all the way up here, right? And then sit here, and then that would be a nice little roll. Nice little roll back up to these highs for a goal. But that is, again, anticipating that dollar to break down, man. That dollar has been freaking high. And I just don't know how much smoke it got. How much smoke it got to really just keep pushing up like that. Really keep pushing up like that. So we're going to see if it's about that life this week. We'll see if it can break these highs and find support on top, then it might be about that life. It might be about that life, but we'll see. I would definitely want to see price set up to, I would like to see price maybe kind of push back up here and give me some rejection from here and then start falling, man. Then start falling. Because from that overall, here's the overall. Way down here. Like that joint is gone. Like what? Where they do that at? Where you do that at? Like, come on, man. So that's what we're looking for. We'll see how that plays out. So we'll know how to trade the correlating pairs. But again, y'all, let it all set up. Let it set up. Make your plans. You know your confirmations on what it is that you on what you need to see in order to get in the market. Don't go chasing behind no trades. All right. If you missed your entry or if it's moving, that don't mean hit the button and jump in it. Right. You're gonna need at least 3 to 5 confirmations before getting in the market. And if you're brand spanking new, lean more towards 5. You need all of your I's dotted and all your T's crosses before you even get into a trade. Let's see what's going on over here in the chat. What's going on? Oh, I answered your question. Perfect. Okay. You know what kills me is I mark my charts up, getting ready to trade what I see, and then bam, I miss it because I'm with a client. Tell me about it. I missed a couple opportunities. Giving some just pouring some love into y'all last week. I know how it go. But man, them alerts come in handy though. They really do. You see, I put the alerts on, but for some reason it's low and I miss it. Yikes. Yeah, you got to fix that volume on those alerts. And then, usually what I try to do too to make sure I don't miss it, because that happens to me as well. We have our price marked up. We have what we're looking for to execute. Place our alert. So what I usually do is place the alert a little bit before the price that I'm looking for, right? Just to give me a little time to get to it, to see what's going on, so I can get, better assess the time, confluence with what it is I'm looking for before I could, so I don't miss it. Let me see. That happened to me. Do y'all set y'all alerts when it crosses every time? Let me see, the same thing happened to me. So yeah, we setting these alerts. Everybody falling off in these alerts. Yeah. What's the 4 confirmations? That is what you're going to need to know. So everybody has different confirmations that they use. It's what you feel comfortable with. When you took your first trade or when you took a successful trade, what did you see happening in the market that made you take that trade? There had to be 2 or 3 things that you was looking at. Okay, it's at a high. Okay, it's giving rejection at a ceiling or whatever it was. Okay, the time that it's at, there's different factors that made you push that button. Those are that's the list that you're going to write down, because that's the confirmations that you're going to use. I can sit up here and say, these are my confirmations. I look for price to hit a ceiling. I look for price to break its inner trend line, its minor structure. And I look for time confluence with the pair that I'm trading. Those are my confirmations. But to you, you're going to be like, well, what the heck is that? What is that? How do I see that? What does that mean for me? If I'm saying price breakdown, I know what that means for me, what I'm looking for. But what does that mean for you? What is a complete breakdown of price? So it could be a little slighted, right? So it's whatever you individually feel confident in seeing and knowing. When you see this happens in the market, this is my confirmation. Every time I see this happen in the market, here's one good one. That pretty holds solid with any system is market structure. Price is making, or the trend price, whenever you're looking at a trend, you have an uptrend, you have a downtrend. In an uptrend, you're making higher highs and higher lows. In a downtrend, you're making lower highs and lower lows, right? So if we're in an uptrend and I see prices at a low, right, then I'm going to use that to my advantage. Prices at a low and we're at an uptrend. then ultimately I'm going to be looking for a buy situation from here. What kind of price? What am I looking for? I'm looking for price to give me a breakdown. Start showing me some rejection to this general area. Then I'm, lock and load, because that's the overall trend that I'm getting in at a position with price and following those lower highs and lower lows, right? So that makes sense. But ultimately, I use that and also the time confluence and the DXY fundamentals. There's quite a few factors or things that I'm taking in consideration before taking that trade. But these are things that I feel comfortable with taking. And the only way that I came up with this checklist was going back and checking my successful trades versus my failing trades. What did I see? What's the difference between my failing trades and successful trades? Well, the successful trades, I seen this, and this. So I want to make sure that I only see this before I push the button. Does that make sense? That makes sense, y'all? Get yourself, all right, perfect. Get yourself a checklist. Just go back and decode it. What did you see in the market? You can always pull back and do a replay. You have tradingview.com. You can always do a replay. If you were successful last week in the market, you can go right to that trade that you took and replay. And it's going to take all that data off the screen. And you can play it back in slow motion or speed it up to see exactly what it was that you were looking at right at that moment in time to be able to develop that system for yourself. All right. I'm going to take this off. All right, y'all. Y'all got any more questions for me? Any more questions, simply put? Everybody's good? Everybody's feeling fabulous? It's going to be a really good week. Really good week out there, y'all. Really good week. Market's setting up. Got to do some things. Got to do some things out there. It's going to be nice. So we'll see. Either way, like I said, yeah, you really make that back. Oh, we looked at Nas and we looked at gold. I don't think we looked at US 30, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing as Nas. All right, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. They move the same. They move the same. They all on discount. Looking at it on a daily, they're all on discount. Look at that. Yeah, this discount right here is a continuation zone. So, and we're rejecting from it. So yeah, go ahead, bust up, come back. And then I'm gonna take my entry and buy up. Period. I'll wait. Patient trader, a paid trader is a patient trader, y'all. So just mark it up, wait for it, wait for those sweet spots and shoot your shot. All right, y'all. Yes, you ready to make that bag? You did really well in the markets last week. I'm proud of you, Leah. All right, you guys. Alvaro, a lot of you guys, y'all doing really well. Don't be so hard on yourself. Y'all are doing a great job taking in this info. But keep it up. I'll see y'all out there, man. I'll see y'all out there and then see y'all tomorrow if y'all don't have no more questions for me. Nothing. All right, y'all. All right, see y'all tomorrow.